guys, this is a quick video showing you how to approach entering this information and answering some of the questions I've gotten about finding different numbers and specifically with the partners. I'm also going to talk about a few numbers that you will need to override, and I'll do another follow-up video later today as well. But I want to get you this one because I think it will help a lot based on where some people are at. So remember, the most important thing that I went over in the instructions was just that you start at the front of the return and work your way backwards. So I started on page 1 and entered the information. All of our numbers here in green just went through on this page. If they're in blue, remember I had to click the little folder and then come to wherever it brought me and continue down. Now, this one in particular was one of the harder ones, and the guaranteed payments, right? So I initially skipped guaranteed payments because you actually couldn't, when you clicked here, it didn't bring you to this. It just said, go enter it on schedule K1. So I just skipped that for the time being. So my page 1 of the 1065 was actually off, right? This ordinary income number wasn't right. It was like 225,000 or so. So I think a few of you are at that number because you haven't gotten the guaranteed payments entered. So that's okay. What you want to do is continue. So you go through pages 2 and 3, pages 4. So you get to page 4 and there's a few things you can enter for Schedule K, but a lot will flow over from the balance sheet and Schedule L, right? Schedule L, which is the balance sheet, M1, M2, which you're just copying directly from the form. Essentially, to enter the partners, so once I entered everything I could on Schedule K, just going down that form and drilling in, and if it was clear where to enter it, you enter it. If not, I mark it off on my return on the paper copy, and I would recommend printing out a copy or taking very detailed notes because it's really easy to get confused about what you've entered, what you haven't entered, and where you entered it. So you come down here to Schedule K1. This is where you add a K1 for each partner. You just click add a copy. And this is where you will enter those guaranteed payments. Qualified non-recourse financing, that was one of the overrides, which I'll have listed in an override list. Essentially, you can override anything related to depreciation and Schedule D because we don't have that detail. And this was something that flowed through the non-recourse financing for the mortgage line. This flowed through from Schedule L and I overrode it. I basically recommend waiting until the very end to look at overrides. So you see the partner's capital account right here, analysis of partner's capital account. I'm not going to override anything in this until I'm totally done. So this is where we entered the withdrawal of 60,000 that they had. And then down here is where we entered these guaranteed payments. So you see down here for services, guaranteed payments, it's green. So you can type it right in. So that's where you enter that number. Then what I did is, if you can see some numbers such as interest down here, line 5, this number was coming through at a different number. Now, you need to enter these percentages here. Enter the percentage of profit and loss. That's an override. So I'm going to get rid of this override because, well, there we go. So, often these calculations can be a little bit weird. On the form, you have nothing entered for the beginning percentage. This is under the Schedule K-1s Part 2, beginning and ending percentages. We only have the ending percentage. We don't have the beginning. So the beginning, if we started this year, could have been 0. But the partner's percentage is the same all year long. We can't really leave these blank. There's often a bit that goes into this section, but essentially it doesn't really matter. I just left them all at 60% since the initial year wasn't stated, I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then down here, let me show you how you can change things if they're not coming through right. So this, once you get into the K-1 special allocations worksheet, this is where I added that 60% to each line. So for qualified dividends, now it's calculating the right number right here, 19460. I had to add that 0.6 here. Same with the capital gain. That's now flowing correctly, 7461. So then from here, I'm going to go back to my Schedule K. Now that I got some of those numbers coming through, right, I'm going to go back to my Schedule K and make sure line by line that I have that all correct before moving on. So I only went ahead to get those guaranteed payments entered. And yeah, that's all. So I just wanted to show you that process. I think it's helpful. And I'll be doing another video once I finish the return tonight and going over some other specific questions that have been asked, maybe in some shorter videos in the forum. So do ask your questions in the forum. Other people are posting questions, so be sure to look that over if you're struggling at all. And remember, you can come to office hours. They're Thursday, Tuesday, and then online Sunday night before this is due. So that might be a really convenient time to come see me. Okay, bye guys.